So, hello everyone. I am here with the lovely Brittany. So, Brittany, where exactly are we going today?
We're going to Greenwich.
Greenwich. So the Greenwich is like the prime meridian of the world, and we get to see it. It's going to be fun. You excited?
Yeah.
So, Brittany, what has been your favorite thing to do here in London so far?
I don't know. I really liked going to Dover.
Dover, yeah. Yeah, you get to stay after all the rest of us.
Yeah. One for like while.
So this is pretty cool. In order to get to the observatory and the prime meridian, we need to go through this park. It's a very nice park. Okay, so this is one of the many museums here at Greenwich. It's just outside the prime meridian, and it's the place where originally they charted the stars, and so they figured out where the prime meridian should go. So it's really exciting for someone like me who's kind of a nerd. Unless you want to be in it. Unless you want to be in it. Oh, you do not want to be in it. Okay, so I should probably explain some history. I've been just talking to Liz here. She knows a little bit more. So Harrison was this guy from the countryside, and the king, or England, what they wanted to do is they wanted to find a good way to find longitude. So the lines, the imaginary lines around the earth going up and down. And Harrison proposed to do this using a clock. However, you need a very accurate clock that changes about 1 second per day, and he needs to work on a boat. So he spent years and years, decades, making several clocks, and he made 4 of them. All of them worked. It's just that they got progressively better as time went on. And the last one is perhaps one of the most important timekeeping devices that we have, because that one was the most accurate one. And doing this, they could find longitude, and they used this for several hundred years. And all 4 of those clocks that he made are here in this building right here. So this is a very impressive museum for anyone who is nerdy about, timekeeping and mapping and whatnot. So thank you, Liz, for the history tutorial. Right there. There it is. So right now we're waiting in line, and it's a pretty long line. It's taking a long time. So there's a couple of us, and we're taking shifts. So right now it's our shift. Yeah. So I was actually just talking to John and the others here, and except for being in Dover, this is actually the first time that many of us have been in the Eastern Hemisphere. We spent our entire lives in the Western, and so this is actually kind of a big deal for us. So the Royal Observatory that we went to is actually up this hill. We're just leaving it, and the part that everyone knows as the prime meridian is right over here. You can see that it's kind of a distance. It's a huge area that this place is on. It's a monstrous area.
I can't remember.
This museum here is called the Maritime Museum. So it goes through all the stories and histories of, England at sea, and you can imagine they have a lot of history. So it's a pretty cool museum. I like it a lot. We're here in the Nelson Galleries, I think, something along with that. I don't know a thing about Nelson, I don't know anything about it, but I have an expert here with me who is a big fan of him. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Nelson?
So, Admiral Horatio Nelson was, in essence, Great Britain's George Washington. He was the hero. He saved Britain from French invasion 3 times over the course of his short career in the British Navy. His greatest victory was at the Battle of Trafalgar, it was 1805, where he defeated a French fleet nearly twice the size of his own fleet.
Well, this is the time of Napoleon? Or?
This is, yes, Napoleon had just come to power at this time.
Wow.
Napoleon had made plans to invade England.
Okay.
He just needed to get
the
British fleet out of the way, right? The big wooden wall to stop them. So he sent a massive fleet combined with the Spanish fleet that he had just conquered to destroy the British fleet. Of course, Nelson was heavily outnumbered, and so the night before the battle, he made a plan with his men, his captains. And the morning of the battle, he didn't send out any other signals. He just sent out a signal that said, "England expects every man to do his duty." And then in the moment of victory, as he's going in to sail in and capture the French flag should be shot through the shoulder. You can see it here in the coat. There's a little hole on the top left.
Right. Right there.
Right, shot through, shatters his shoulder, punctures his lung,
Right.
and breaks his spine. He knows that he's dying,
Right.
but he knows that he can last the rest of the battle. So he's taken below, of course. And upon hearing of the victory, it's said that he expires and dies.
Oh, okay.
Having said that, he has now
Very legendary. Yeah.
done his country well.
Oh, so he was the boss.
He was the boss.
That's
yeah.
pretty cool. Well, thank you, Karsten. So we're outside of the museum, the Maritime Museum. We need to get some fresh air, and we're actually just outside the courts. So where we were at was up there, and so we came down the hill, went to the museum, and so I'm about to go in the courtyard here. I can actually show you on this map. The red line going right through the map, that's the prime meridian. That up there is the prime meridian. And that sundial is also the prime meridian, so you can see that prime meridian kind of follows up all the way there. And those black squares right here, that's actually these guys right here. And so as you can tell, they don't really match up. So many people think that that is like in the movie Thor. That's where it lines up. It actually doesn't. It's actually the sundial. While the sundial was not the place where the prime meridian was declared, it was built on the line just down the hill. It's been a while since I've done a philosophical moment with Joe, and I think now's a good time for one. Some would wonder why traveling all the way across town just to see an arbitrary line in the ground would be worth the hassle. However, even though it's an arbitrary line, it's a very important one. The entire planet Earth is graphed and ordered by this line. Most maps use it for its center, and modern GPS, so fundamental to our modern world, is dictated by this arbitrary line. It made me realize that simply being arbitrary doesn't necessarily mean being unimportant. So that kind of concludes our day here at Greenwich. It's been a very nice afternoon. We're going to head back. I'm pretty much done for the day. I'm going to go home and study and get my test over with. But it's been a very lovely time here at Greenwich on the Prime Meridian. And this is kind of our last hoorah here in London. So that's kind of sad. I love this city. I'm very sad to be leaving the city, but we're extremely excited for France and Italy. And so my next video may actually be in France, in Paris. So that's going to be really exciting for both you guys and me. So until then, I look forward to seeing you. And I think this is the last time I'm going to say this, but cheerio.